And welcome to our January 2017 QueenCall. We would like to first begin in the name of God. So if you please, wherever you are, please assume a position that is very, very, and begin in prayer. In the most holy name of God, the beneficent, the most merciful, the master of this day of judgment, Thee alone do we serve, and You alone do we beseech Your help. Oh, God, we ask that You come in this afternoon. We ask that You bless all of those participants that are on the line and that You bless our speakers. We pray that Your blessing would be amongst the spirit of all of the sisters and that we may be able to learn, to grow, and evolve into the women that You would have us to be. Amen. Welcome again to the first Queen Call of 2017. We do know that Queen Calls are our sacred time. Queendom Come Incorporated use these particular calls the last Thursday of every month so that we as a sisterhood can be activated no matter where we are. We know that we are always bonded by the same struggles, the same spirit, the same energy. We as women have to make sure that we are connected on all levels because we're all that we have is a sisterhood. And so we formed an alliance amongst one another. We formed a bond, hopefully, that will never be broken. And knowing and understanding that the Queen Calls are our sacred space, our safe time, so that we can express ourselves, that we can learn, that we can grow, that we can evolve. And as we know as professional women, one of our biggest mistakes is that we take care of everyone else. We take care of our mates. We take care of the children. We take care of our family. We take care of our churches, our mosques, our synagogues. We're consistently checking on our friends. And we forget oftentimes to put ourselves first. And I saw a meme not too long ago. It said that while you're giving everyone else out of that cup that consistently runs over, please make sure that you save some for yourself. So the Queen Calls our opportunity to save it for ourselves. And tonight we are so blessed to have Queen. Oh, wait, hold on one second. I'm getting more calls coming in. Thank you. We're getting the lines lit up. And thank you. If you have any questions or comments, definitely we will take those. So before I even begin, you can please make sure that you send your questions to 504-650-0656. If you have any questions for our queen tonight, please make sure that you text 504-650-0656, or you can text us, or you can tweet it, or put it, of course, on our Facebook page, Queendom Come on Facebook. Please make sure that you do that if you have something that you want to discuss or you have a question that you'd like to ask. Before we take those questions, we want to give a brief introduction to our guest speaker this afternoon. This is Tawana Bhagwat, and we are so blessed to have her. She is a phenomenal queen and with multiple talents, and Queen Sadia is going to go ahead and read her bio so that we can get started.
Yes. I'm excited about introducing this sister. You know, let me tell you about my personal experience with the sister before I read her credentials. Like, this woman can see you in a room and don't know you from Adam, but she is so in tune with your spirit and with your vibrational energy. She can tell you exactly what is going on in your life. She can peel you like an onion, and you don't know what happens. Now, let me say this. She will ask you permission before she goes in. But don't think that when you're around this sister that you can hide whatever it is that you have going on. And see, that is the gift that God has given her, and that she has used this gift tremendously in the business that she works in. You know, so I'll go into what she does and then who she is. So Sister Tawana Bhagwat, she's a manager partner of EvokeLife.com. Now, she's going to go into what that means, But the bottom line is it's about being more than just doing. And as women, we can attest that we have all kind of check-off lists. And if you're a woman like me who's type A personality, you may have 100 of those lists because we're so busy doing, not only for ourselves, for our families. And so with EvokeLife.com, she helps women be as opposed to do. Now, what she does for a living, she's a human resource executive for a Fortune 500 company. She's an organizational strategy expert, a certified coach and counselor. She's a change agent with 20 years of corporate experience leading organizations. She's known for her strategic planning, leadership development, talent management, and organizational growth and effectiveness skills while managing global businesses. And when I tell you this woman is a heavyweight and she's nothing to sleep on, nothing to sneeze at, it's a blessing that she is even giving us her time because we know her time is extremely valuable. But she wanted to make sure that she gave her gift and her time to the queens to help us be rather than just do. And so at this time, I would like to introduce my dear sister, Sister Tawana Bhagwat. Sister Tawana, Queen Tawana.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me this evening. I am so excited whenever I have an opportunity to be among powerful women. And I love the name. This is a Queen's Call, so I know that we can get right down to it. And as Sister Sadia said, I want to ask permission up front to get in your stuff tonight. I promise you that it will be done in a way that is honoring you as a person, to help you grow and expand. That is the word for 2017 for us, is about expansion. The company, I have two partners, Radaya and Dr. Ronnie. The three of us in our background of how we came together, because I think it's so important because it speaks to alliance, which is at the root of why you all are here tonight, which is there's three powerful women, that mothers and sisters and aunties and work and want to own our own business, all the things that powerful women want to do to just make it happen. And what we realize is our A-type, if you will, I am you and you are me, spent all this time trying to figure it out so that we can get out, but more importantly, get a break. So my background is an engineer. My other partner is an engineer. And then my other partner is a mathematician. So when we come together and build the mind and the heart, we do it in a way that it is systematically proven to get results because we don't have a lot of time. But at the same time, and our mind is so powerful that we spend all the time thinking, writing checklists, what we're going to do, how we're going to solve it, how we're going to work it out. But it's always something missing in that formula called being. Just stop for a moment and think about that word. And so we spent the last 3 years developing a formula for you because you are me, you are us, and we wanted to solve the problem, crack the nut. And that's what we've done. And the name of our company is called Evoke Life by Design. Evoke means to conjure up. So we go after that thing that to bring forth while you are busy living your life day to day. Your real life is within you, just waiting to be emerged. And we spend time figuring out who is that real self. And we do that with a technology that we've developed called the B-print. And that is a 3-phase process that we take you through. That first part is called self-discovery, where we spend time reflecting on what you're doing today as a way of uncovering who you are being, and then release what's not working so you can have the life you want. Then we work on redesigning to have you envision the life you actually desire, and we create it. Could you imagine just taking the time to create the life you want and seeing the possibilities? Because as adults, we stop dreaming. And so we redesign your world and align with your purpose and passion. And then step 3 is live by design. And we create a structure to support you in being who you are as your highest vision of yourself. And I tell you, this work is so powerful, and it's done in no limit of time. You just got to be willing to be vulnerable. And that's something that as powerful women we're not willing to do. So that's why tonight as we come together, I want to encourage you to be open and be vulnerable with your sister friends who are experiencing the exact same thing you're going through. So there's no need to hide. And I love, love, love this conversation that we get into about being is the new doing. So how do we move from one space to another? And I'm praying that this becomes an interactive conversation versus, me just teaching you some concepts, because it happens in real life situations. So I'm hoping that there's some brave souls on the call tonight that's willing to get exposed, get healed, redesign, and then start living your life by design. So I'll start out by asking you a question. And I'm going to ask Sister Sadia, maybe breaking the rules here, to open up the line so I can feel your energy, because we're on mute and I can't feel you. So I'm struggling because I can't feel your energy. So who are you being? Thank you. So I asked the question, who are you being? And is that the person that you need to be in order to discover the person you want to be? So I'll ask it again. Who are you being today? And does it line up with what you want in life? And what you will find with that question is we all have a default self that really runs our life. There's some thoughts, some feelings, and emotions that will have you to say, if I need to make this money, open up this business, start this program, do this, do that, I need to, and you fill in the blank. And you govern your life with that. And then you get on that wheel and you keep turning and turning and turning. And when it don't happen, you get another list. You find some more resources. And you keep getting on this wheel. And what I would challenge is that's your default self being governed by some thoughts and feelings and emotions that you've had all your life. And they become rules. And that's how you live your life. But those rules runs its course. And when they get challenged, that's when we have our meltdown. I don't know about you, but I can honestly tell you I've had at least 3 major breakdowns in my life. And I'm young. I'm 44, and I'm proud to say it, with 3 children and got an 18-year-old. And I look good, by the way.
She does, y'all.
And I say that proudly because I got off that wheel. So my question is, what brave soul on the phone want to tell me is the way that you're living your life? Do you believe the way that you're living your life, let me ask this question, will get you your end goal?
I'll start off, Sister Tawana.
Okay.
If anybody knows me, they know that I'm type A personality, and I always have something going on. And if I'm able to free up some time in one area, I feel like I have to start something else to feel that whole. I wouldn't say that I feel empty, that I don't know how to just enjoy myself, because I'm all about enjoying myself. But I feel like I got to do everything, and if I don't, if I drop the ball, I don't know what will happen. I don't want to see the outside, the other end of that. So I feel like I just have to constantly do so that I can take care of everything so that, and I use this word a lot, that the ball won't drop. You know, that's in my marriage, that's with my children, that's in my business, that's, you know, in the organizations that I'm in. And so that feeling of having to take care of everything that I'm a part of is, I don't know, it's not a good feeling. So I don't know if it's a being issue or a doing issue.
Well, are you doing?
I'm doing a whole lot.
Uh-huh. And how's that working for you?
I got a lot more to do.
Got a lot more to do. So before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage.
So,
did you all hear that? Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage. And that is, no balls can drop. That is your truth. I will not allow balls to drop. Because if they do, you can't fathom what will happen, but it's something so bad you're not willing to see what happens. And not only that, you create more balls. Even when you get one ball off your plate, you're like, oh, I got extra capacity. I could take on 2 more.
Professional juggler.
Professional juggler. But what's the thoughts though? So tell me the feeling.
The feeling is disappointing others, not being able to be there to help others. The feeling is, you know, not having anybody, so being everything for everybody. I think that's the feeling. Ooh, I'm feeling cry on this. But yes.
Yeah. So you taking care of everybody but you. So the undercurrent in that is everybody is more important than me, or there's a belief that nobody can take care of me the way I can.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
Nobody can take care of you the way you can. But under that is you yearn, though, to be taken care of.
Yes. Yes. I want somebody
but you
to
won't
take
allow
care of me like I take care of everybody else.
But you won't allow anyone to take care of you. Right?
Right. Because the people I draw in. No, you're right.
They can't do it like you. But do you hear there's some core thoughts that govern your life? Therefore, the energy that you send out will allow people to come in and want to do for you, but you would naturally reject.
And I think I see
you'll
people
help
doing
them
for me
quicker than they will help you.
Yes.
But what's the emotion, though? What's so? Tell me, how does that make you feel to realize that can't nobody take care of you?
I don't want to feel helpless. Like, I don't like the feeling of helplessness.
And what happens when you're helpless?
What happens when I'm helpless? I'm a victim.
Oh. And what do victims do?
They can't help themselves.
And that's bad. Do you categorize that as bad?
I don't know. Y'all, somebody on this line, help me out. I'm calling in for a lifeline. Sister Forrester.
I ain't get to hear it. I could help you. I'm throwing the line. I'm catching the line. I'm coming for you, sister.
Because I was sexually abused as a child, and I remember not being able to help myself, and I vowed that I would advocate for those who couldn't advocate for themselves, and I made that vow. I made a decision a long time ago, and I'm holding on to that.
Right. But how old are you now?
I am 42.
Do you need that? That child still needs to be protected, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Marissa?
You hear that? But do you hear your truth?
I do.
That nobody did it for me, so I'm going to do it for everybody else?
Yes.
And then when somebody try to do it for you, you like, oh, no. They can't do it the way I can because I know how it's supposed to be done. And I will not be a victim anymore.
Powerful.
I will not be a victim anymore.
Can I interject something?
Absolutely.
When you feel that way, I see that you're becoming a victim of yourself by not allowing yourself to know that you're not always going to be able to do it. So because that's what you always want to do, to be there for someone, and if you feel as if you fall, you're adding more burden on you. Do you see that? And so that's like scarring. That's scarring you. And you have to learn how to release that. Like forgive yourself because you can't be all to all.
I'm listening.
So I see Sister Sadia's face is squinted up by what you said. Not because you lied or didn't say your truth, but her default being can't do nothing with that statement you made because it's got her this far. Mm-hmm. It served her well. Right?
It has.
You ain't been a victim no more. You are successful. You are a professional ball juggler. And the default has served a purpose. So it's not a bad thing. You heard the saying that you can't put new wine in old wineskin. We're saying, thank you, default. We want to honor you, default. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have the willpower, the gusto, the drive to be where I am today. But I'm saying, what if we use that energy differently? How far do you think it could take you? What if it wasn't rooted in fear that I won't be a victim anymore? And then the lie we tell is, I'm no longer a victim, and I'm going to make sure nobody else is a victim.
Mm-hmm.
What if we put default on a shelf and say, thank you. You served your purpose. And now I'm ready to move on because I can live without you in that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that? Because default will not be made wrong because it will defend to the end. I have a default too. Her name is Weeping Willow. Because she's not going to be weak.
Mm-hmm.
Who else on the line would love to chime in?
I see some people now.
Did I scare your team? I'm sorry. Was that too deep coming out the bat?
And y'all, okay, I think somebody's about to talk now.
Sister Tawana, when you say chime in, we chiming in on Queen Sadia?
Or if you have something you would like to share, I would love to hear your story.
I would have to say that my difficulty is knowing what I want.
Are we talking about difficulty?
Yes.
Yes, that's how you would describe it.
Yes.
You don't know what you want?
Exactly.
What thoughts tell you that?
When I can't make a decision.
Okay. So the thought says you're indecisive.
Yes.
What else it tells you?
That if I make a decision, that might be the wrong decision.
And what's the feeling?
Pain, regret, anxiety.
Mhm. And what's the emotion tied to that?
My first thought, I guess, would be pity.
Your first thought was what?
Like pity, like
pity. Mhm. Are you sad? Because your energy shifted as you were explaining.
I don't think I'm sad.
Okay. What's another feeling besides pity?
I'm not sure.
Have you made decisions?
I have.
Have they been good ones?
I really can't say whether they were good or not.
Okay. Because you've questioned them all the time.
Right.
So you haven't had the opportunity to enjoy making a good decision.
Exactly.
Even though you may have gotten a desired result, you question it so much that it still felt wrong.
Yes.
Or unsure.
Yes.
Right. So there's a story there that says you don't know how to make decisions.
Exactly.
And the formula that you're looking for is somebody just tell me, like, how you know you made a good decision or not.
Mhm.
And you'll just run the hell out of that formula.
Yep.
Do you deserve good decisions?
I do.
Okay. And what's gotten in the way of you being able to make them is that because you question them. But it's not decision you're questioning, is yourself, right?
Right.
Right. Actually, I hear worthiness as an undertone. When I said that, what happened? What was your reaction when you heard me say that?
All right. Well, I shook my head. Yes. Like.
You just shook your head.
Yes.
What are you not worthy of?
Nothing really.
Oh. Well, I would challenge you, because that's your default talking, that will tell you you're not worthy of anything, and therefore it would have you to question everything that you do, because there was something that happened that made you feel that way, right?
Right.
And as a result of that, you're governing your life according to those core feelings and beliefs. And I would say that's your default self. That's your default being. And it's getting in the way of you moving forward. But for whatever reason, default served you well because maybe you were making not so best choices at a time in your life. I would also venture to say that you're not that same person that you were when you were making those decisions, right?
Right.
You've grown and developed and have more life experiences that allow you to compare. So, again, default has served you well. But yet you continue to make sure it lives, because of the thing about our default is that its number one goal is to protect you. And in doing so, it tells you a story that keeps replaying over and over again. And all I want to do is just expose that default, which is the lie. So I go back to the quote, before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you back. So thank you, default, for forcing me to question my decisions so I can make sure I'm not being hasty and make the right decisions at the right time. But now default has taken on a life of its own, so it doesn't allow me to move forward because I'm so busy questioning over and over, so I'm not making any decision. Can you all hear that? That's tied to an experience. Can you hear that?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think we have two great examples because I want to show you how to shift. Because so as a result you're doing things, you're making decisions or not making decisions. Sister Sadia is keeping the balls in the air and collecting more balls because she's not going to be a victim and she's not going to allow anyone to be a victim. And it's all in a vicious cycle. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other queens on the line hear that or can attest to such an experience? The line's still open, Sister Sadia?
It sure is, and I see some people who want to talk.
Yeah, I think that we all can attest it. Go ahead.
I'm from
This
New York.
This is a tough conversation, isn't it? That's why we're having it right now, because we're going to get it together. Right?
Yes,
you on this call because you want to learn something. You want to take a different step. You want to go in a different direction that's going to take you to the goal that you're trying to achieve. And I would often say that most of the goals that we have set for ourselves are not the real goal. Our number one goal, I shouldn't say our, most women start the year out with, I want to lose weight, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to take time out for me. Even if it's just go get my nails done and get my hair done and don't focus on nothing. All of us are looking for that free time to just be us. You know, I think the saying is you want to do you. But the extreme of doing you means do nothing for anybody else. And is that really a reality that most of us can check out of our lives like that? I'm sorry, what was that? Repeat that. Did someone say something?
You got us scared on the phone.
Sorry.
You have us scared on this phone call because you pulling back the layers over the line.
I can't. I don't know no other way, sisters. I love you. I will no longer be a Jonah. When God gives us gifts, we have to move in our purpose. That's what all of us want to do, and we're struggling with the how. And what I'm trying to do is expose the lie, the story that has gotten in the way of us getting to what God intended for us to be. And that's not stressed out, worrying about everybody else, questioning should we or shouldn't we, juggling all the balls. It can't get done if I don't do it. I. Unhealthy, unhappy, unsatisfied. But yet we put on our mask. That's one thing I could say about us as women. We will put that mask on. We will beat that face and head on out the door like what? And then we're miserable as hell, sad.
So Sister,
yes, ma'am.
So we know that we have a default self, and we put the default on the shelf. It's like, what do we do now? We've identified with this individual who saved us, this individual who served us. We don't know no other way.
Exactly.
So how do we go from there? That's the part. How do we bridge the gap from who we used to be when it served?
I will give you a glimpse of that. That's what makes our program so important and so powerful, because now we spend time envisioning your life exactly as you desire it. So most of you on this call probably do vision boards. Spend your time, get your year together, take classes, follow Oprah, and then it's just a board. And if you are, true to the process, you probably got 15 boards. And they probably all look the same, a little tweak here or there. But we also do some envisioning. And then we build what your life could look like if default was not present and you were being, not doing, being the person you envision. So we have something we call an intention scale. And I asked you the question, an intention scale goes from -7 to a +7, where a +7 is embodying. And then negative is in this sabotage. Every single thing you do, you try to make default want to live, so it sabotages your behavior. I want to lose weight. I'm too frustrated, so I'm just going to eat because comfort food helps me to get through it. That's sabotage. So when you set out to do something, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what's your intention? And you got to get to know this default so well that every time it shows its head, you cut it off. You're like, okay, Weeping Willow. And I've done this process a lot. So I had one of my default names was called Liar, Liar, Heart on Fire. So every time it raised its head, we name our default so we can call it by name. Because I want my default to know, I know you're creeping in right now to stop me from moving forward to this life that I envision I can have. And I can tell you now, I'm a sister that want it all. I want the business. I want the good husband, the good home, the great children. I want all those things. So I work real hard to make those things manifest. You hear me say make them? That means the people that's in those seats, I make sure I make them. And I'm telling you, those are balls, Sister Sadia, aren't they? Each child is a ball that you're trying to transform into something. Let's not talk about our men, but the only person that you can transform is yourself. and then you share your story, and you be the beacon of light to help other women to learn how to. So that's what we spend our time doing. We get very clear on, if you decide that my focus for me is on my health, and when we take you through our program, we have where we allow you to focus on your mind, body, and spirit. And we pick an area and we focus on that. And we get very clear on, if you didn't have default and this is the area you're focusing on, then what would you envision it looking like? So I'll give you an example for me. Mine was, I want to work on my wellness. So in wellness, that's my mindfulness, that's healing, that's peace. Because I don't sit still. I'm moving. My body's aching, telling me to sit down. I'm not healing it. But when I put my vision together, I've seen this person sitting in serenity. You know, I've seen things moving at a normal pace versus the crazy. Right? I seen me being Ubered everywhere. I got a picture of Uber on steroids. I actually seen me exercising, but it was a picture I saw of somebody actually lifting the leg up to do it for you. I was like, now that's exercising in my world. Awesome. So I envision what that would look like. But what my default says is, you ain't going to exercise because, number one, you don't like to sweat. What my default told me is, you're not going to sit still long enough to heal, because you got to always be on the move. You got to be doing something. You are a fixer of men and women. So you got to be moving. You can't sit still. These are the thoughts. And then I went, oh, my God, I'll feel so bad if I'm not helping people. Oh, my goodness, I'm responsible. Well, what was the emotion? It made me so sad. So I was like, oh, that's default talking. Because if I'm a fixer of men and women, and that's what God has designed me to do, then I must not be hypocritical. I must show up as being one who's healed, encouraging women that love to just do, to sit still. Old folks tell you in a minute, peace be still. You don't know what that means. Because we got to go and move and make things happen. So that's that second phase that we take you through. And then the third phase is called Live by Design, where we walk you through how do you begin to put an infrastructure in place that will allow you to do that, everything from what your calendar should look like. If I say I want to get well and I need to exercise, then my day should consist of eating healthy, taking breaks, walking away from my computer so I can be mindful, that I should have a workout 2-3 times a week. But if my plan don't include those things, then I'm back to the default of doing. And I have no intention. My intention is to avoid. My intention is to sabotage. I could even have a high intention of wanting. But wanting something and embodying it, being it, looks totally different. Because how I'm going to be is a size 10.5 with thick hips and butt, because I don't want that to go away. It's cute for me. How I'm going to be is that I'm going to walk in a spirit of peacefulness. See, I've already seen what that person looks like, and it's very different from this person that lives a very hectic life that's always on the go, and because she's on the go and got so many plans, she's late for this meeting or late for that meeting. No, my schedule is going to be booked out, and I am going to be okay with telling people, no, you can't get on my schedule today. I already have 5 meetings. The rest of the time is spent for me to meditate, to get recentered, to prepare for the next thing that I have to do. Do you all see the difference from that default self that I described to taking the time to envision and then to build the infrastructure? And then I put people around me. I share my plan. I can't do it by myself, so I need my sisters. I need other queens that understand this is the shift that I'm trying to make in my life because they're trying to do it too. And I'm going to have accountability partners. I am not going to pack my lunch, which means I could have be tempted to eat fast food. So I'm going to cook on Sunday, and I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to do it with my children and my husband and pack for the week. You see the difference in the being versus the doing? Because I'll be on that wheel running to this restaurant, get something, bring it back. I'm still in this doing mode. Any reactions or thoughts from that?
I know Sister Kathleen, are you Queen Kathleen? Are you there? I know that you wanted to ask a question or make a comment. If you're still there, Sister Kathleen. Okay. Anyone else?
I think it's powerful what you're saying.
What makes it powerful?
Because when you're conscientious about your being, then you can evaluate, introspect, and make those corrections. But if you're oblivious, it's still like proceeding without intentions or consciousness. You're just doing instead of being.
Right.
So that's the first step, is to critically, go into a self-critical analysis, being honest, and then making those adjustments one step at a time, realistically moving forward.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, sis. I want to take you off autopilot. So that means you really have to drive your life. Because everybody on this call would say, oh, no, I'm a driver. I make stuff happen. No, your life is on autopilot, being ran by default.
Yeah. And that's like what you were saying earlier to the other queen about, understanding your past and understanding the space that you are operating out of, but that you don't have to be stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
That is a conscious effort to bring about a change.
Absolutely. That is the act of recognizing which lie is holding you hostage.
Right. But that's giving something power, and we can't, there's only one God, right? And if we don't, we decide, we make the conscious decision on who we want to be our God and to control us.
Absolutely. Perfectly said. Thank you for sharing. We also go through a process called realization, and that's what you are expressing right now.
But I'll tell you, with my story, I remember right now I'm 50, but I remember when I was 38, I had the pleasure at work to meet this woman. She's her name is Maria Yellowhorse Braveheart, and she came to our job to do a lecture. And as I'm walking with her, escorting her to the ladies' room, she just turned around and said, Jessica, people don't really go into the helping professions because they want to. I think they go into the helping professions because they're trying to figure things out for themselves. And I looked at her like, why is this lady saying this to me? But then I had an aha moment because I grew up in a household with a mom who used alcohol, to, I guess, self-medicate her depression, raising 4 children of her own. She was a functional alcoholic because she worked every day, but she still got ripped on her days off. And I remember, as the youngest, trying to save her, but I couldn't. And then I went into the helping profession, trying to rescue everyone else. And then I realized that when I met her, that when she said that to me, it just made me reevaluate, because I should have always, my mission in college, and I always had aspirations to become an attorney. But then I went to be a drug and alcohol counselor and going into voc rehab and helping people, rescuing people. But I was really trying, it was this little girl who really couldn't save her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So because and that is through my own introspection and realization, I said, that's why I'm doing it. I love people. Don't get me wrong. You can help in many different capacities.
Absolutely.
But from the space I was working out of, I was trying to make sense of it because no one was there to protect me. So I wasn't able to save my mother, so I was out here trying to save everyone.
Yeah.
Until you realize, you have to look at yourself. And then I said, if I'm doing case studies for all my clients, let me put myself as a case study and look at me. And then that's when my process of change began. And, of course, with the teachings, forget about it. I would not exclude the teachings because, a great man saved me by allowing me to hear that message and to get a true knowledge of myself. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have. It's only by God's grace and mercy that allowed me to come into understanding.
Mm-hmm. That is beautiful, and thank you for sharing, because it's half the battle. That's only half the battle, right? Because you had a realization. You got to the source. But now we got to get busy. See, this is why I love talking to intellectual, strong women, because we can articulate our problem. And in the articulation, we go, got it. I'm good. I solved for this. But we're not done.
No, ma'am.
Because the solving, right? The solving is actually getting to the person with all those experiences. I would say you probably are still in the right field. But I asked this question to Queen Sadia, that what if we took that energy, but it had a different motivation? Where would you be? You'll probably have 50 centers because you cracked the code under your name.
That's right.
Right? So Einstein had a quote, if I could share it with you. It says, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Did you hear that? We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So there is some responsibility that lies with us to shift our thinking once we have identified a problem. Because we can move through that fairly quickly. It's going through the design work. To Sadia's question, the design work is, now you got to spend some time rediscovering. Well, like, who am I then if I'm not saving people? Well, who am I if I'm not juggling balls? Well, who am I if I'm not busy all the time making stuff happen, helping people? Like, who? I don't know, because my identity has been tied up in that doing work. And you can't fathom being someone else. But what you do know is the person you're being is not working. It's hard work. Like, this is it? This is it, God? Like, I just got to juggle balls every day? Like, I mean, that's it? I'm questioning that, because everything in your person says, come on, there's got to be more. I work so hard. I achieve so much. So we're trying to get at that answer. So the heavy lifting start with the designing. Yes, ma'am. I'm looking at time.
I had a thought when you was talking about the job and is there anything else. I actually experienced that when I had to retire from the post office. So, ladies, I've worked at the post office for 31 years. That was my main career. I used to tutor in college, and I would tutor friends in math and or accounting if they needed it. But my main job was a postal worker. I was a letter carrier, and I was in a car accident, had a couple of surgeries on my shoulder, and the doctor said, you're going to have to retire from the post office because if you have another surgery on your arm, it's very well likely that you will lose the use of your arm, especially if it's so close, because I had 2 surgeries in 1 year, and then the following year another surgery. So I had to retire on disability, and I was extremely depressed. And I was extremely depressed because for 30-plus years, the post office was my life. And I was sitting home, and I would cry because I said, oh, I couldn't wait for the day for me to be retired, but damn, I expect for it to be now. I'm still able to do stuff. Why can't I work at the post office? What am I going to do? And I was in a funk for a couple of months. And when people would say, Terry, how are you enjoying your retirement? And I said, I don't. I felt like I lost a home. I had no place to go. And so for a long time, I had to find myself, and I probably haven't found myself yet. But I'm working on it. I'm not in a funk anymore, and I'm pursuing another area for me to go in. But that was my thought when you was talking about what are you going to do. I was in a real funk.
Thank you for sharing. Queens, this time went by so fast.
I know, it always does. It always does.
Oh, what happened?
So you know what that means.
Honor our time.
So that just means that you got to do a part 2. That's what that means.
I
so
don't
can
know.
You promise you'll come back?
I'm willing to come back, but I thought I scared the queens on the call, or I just got too deep.
Oh, yeah, you truly scared them, but you do have to come back for a second one. So maybe some of us who were scared or just wanted to listen, maybe we could chime in, because that was very awesome.
Absolutely it was. So, Sister Tawana, before you leave, I wanted you to, and since Wakiti, you there? I wanted you to talk about the Evoke Life. Where can they go to learn about being best rather than doing? And then, Sister Wakiti, if you can talk about the crowning program we have coming up on February 11th. So, Sister Tawana?
Yes, ma'am. So if you want to get more information about this work, this heartfelt work, you can go to evokelife.com, www.evokelife.com. You can read up on me and my partners, what we do. And we're actually coming to Houston, so we would love for you to join us there on February 24th. We will be in Houston, and we would love to have 25 brave women that's willing to take their life, on the 25th, that's willing to take their life to the next level. We are running actually a special for the women in Queendom Come, because I know that this work will benefit you, and you touch so many people that you can help do this same work in their lives. So I'll be sending out information through Sister Sadia, and hopefully we will see you all there. Again, that's February 25th in Houston, Texas, and we're offering a special. So for $500, you can come and be a part of this event. I promise you that it will change your life. I did a session there with some women, and they worked me over to 11 o'clock at night and then followed me to my hotel. We talked till 2 o'clock in the morning, but I was going to make sure that everyone got whatever they needed, and they've just been calling me ever since, just giving me updates on how they step-changed their life. So we know that it works. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we're in Washington, D.C. doing this event for General Motors, this work. So it's powerful, and it's taken off, and I would love for you all to be a part of it. So thank you so much for having me. Sister Wakiti? Hello? Somebody's still
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. I was waiting for Queen Kiana. She's actually doing the commercial. So,
okay.
Queen Kiana, if you have the announcement ready.
Yes, Queens, we are so excited. We are very excited to invite everyone on the call to the crowning. The crowning is going to be held on Saturday, February 11th, 2017 at 3 o'clock p.m., and it's going to be my glory, my beauty, my strength. And we are going to embrace being black. We're going to embrace being feminine. We're going to embrace sisterhood. And you guys do not want to miss this event. It is a fundraiser for Queendom Come because we definitely need the support of the community. We need you to come out. We want to help our girls in 2016. We want to help our women, in 2017. We're in a whole new year, and we have a whole new group of girls that we want to help. We have women that we want to help in 2017, so we need your support. We need you to come out. We need you to buy tickets. We need you to share the information on Facebook and on Instagram. It's a minimum, just only $10 is the donation for the ticket, and this $10 goes a long way. We buy materials. We buy crafts. We go on outings. We do different things with our girls. We have different programs for the women, and we use your money just for that. We use your money to assist us with all of our programs, and we are just very excited. This is going to be a dynamic event, and we want to see you all in the place to be on February 11, 2017 at the Shrine. For more information, please log on to our website at www.myqueendomcome.org, or you can reach any of the queens, and get tickets. And if you want to assist us, please contact me directly at 713-261-6647, and we will arrange for you to get your own tickets so that you can help us promote this special event. We look forward to seeing you on February 11th at the crowning with the rest of the queens. Thank you.
All right, Queen. So one final word for us, Sister Tawana, before we end this call. Tell us something to take with us. I know you've given us a million jewels.
I will give you a quote. Most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. Most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. So I would challenge you as queens to think about how we tap into the unlived life that is just yearning to get out, that design life, that life that wants it all but don't know how to go about having it. Being is the new doing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Queen Tawana. And family, next time, next month, that last Thursday of February at 7:30. So we look forward to hearing from all of you. And we'll send our flyer and let you know who our next guest speaker is going to be. And Sister Tawana will for sure be back. So thank you again, Queen Tawana. And good night, family.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.